because she says it herself. I hate myself the very most of all because I let this happen because I played your stupid games.
Mm-hmm.
She calls them out on everything. And then they respect her. But it doesn't...
because she stood up for herself.
Yep. But at that point, it doesn't matter anymore.
Because Wendy's... Actually, that's what made Wendy decide that it was time to act, whenever Jennifer just completely decided, no, you killed Brown, no!
Also, it didn't matter anymore to Jennifer because she lost what was the dearest to her.
Mm-hmm.
So she just didn't care. She was done. It wasn't just the fact that Wendy was going to come there the next day and kill everybody. It was the fact that she lost. She already lost what she held most dear to her.
Oh, yes.
For the simple fact that Jennifer had blamed Wendy and hit her really showed Wendy that there was no longer room in Jennifer's heart for Wendy, and Wendy went insane and Stray Dog came coming.
And what it was Jennifer felt... I'm guessing that Jennifer felt like Wendy didn't care about her anymore, seeing what she did to Brown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if she cared a lot about Jennifer, Jennifer would probably have figured, well, if you cared about me, you wouldn't have hurt me like this.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, it's actually time to now go back and look on... I think have we actually managed to cover technically everything we want to talk about? Mind you, this game is so extensive. I mean, there's even details on how the bucket nights have to do with the story.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, really long and really, 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 it just is so hard to cover all of it because of the fact this game was not developed well.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
That's what it comes down to, is this could have been a gem. But
this could have been just as good as, Silent Hill, for the love of God.
It could have, but they didn't take enough time. They probably were rushed at deadlines, and their writers wrote very awkwardly. You can't tell what tense they're writing in half the time, and all that.
And also the fact that it was translated that could also be a killer of it. So I wouldn't blame the writers, but the translators.
Yeah, I have to remember that they had English voice actors actually originally.
So all the voice acting would be fine, but the tense and writing and the stuff that you read
was all translated. I forgot that. So, yeah, translators did horrible. They need to look at this a little better and explain more about what's going on. Honestly, this probably needs a fan translation really badly.
That would probably be better.
I mean, they did so many things that broke the plot, like 3 times over. Like Brown coming back, that broke the plot. Confused a ton of people.
Exactly.
Including me.
Yeah, well, it confused me too. Their tents was horrible. The whole massacre thing was not very well mentioned. It's mentioned
Although
twice.
what you said a while ago about little kids having like selective memory and not being able to see like really horrible things, that kind of makes me think, were the bodies actually there?
Oh,
or
yeah.
was it seriously just the clothes?
No, the bodies were there. She remembers them as clothes because it's too horrific for her to actually remember there's a body.
Okay.
Because, I mean, did we talk about this on recording about the whole? No, we didn't. Thinking about the whole thing that she sees the dead bodies as clothes.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned this.
Yeah,
I remember.
She mentioned this. Sasha mentioned this.
The fact that whenever you pull the bed sheet over from whenever you're stuck in the basement from the bed where Joshua's clothes are laid out, she says her chest hurt. Well, it's like, she, like, I don't know, it's like a subtitle thing that pops up that her chest hurt. So, it could be the fact that she saw Joshua.
Dead.
Mm-hmm. So and possibly, like, weren't you saying something about, like, a pile of clothes in that room?
Oh, no.
It's outside. In the gingerbread house?
It's outside.
So that could just be a pile of...
It could be. Yeah. It could be peas he had not planted yet. But also you have to think about her chest hurt. It could have been because of the stench. Mm-hmm. Think about that. It's a dead body.
Oh, God.
And it's been there. That could have been Joshua's tomb because he just could not bear to bury the body.
And her staying there for a few months? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I mean, she would, it would make sense with Gregory's profile. With just adoring his son so much.
The other children are faceless to him. He didn't care. So if he buried them, they wouldn't matter.
Yep. And Jennifer looks so much like... I mean, you can see the resemblance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do look similar. They could be brother and sister.
I mean, if you look at little girl Jennifer, they look very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And, and that's maybe why and you know what? She is in a different dress, she's in the, little white apron dress thing when she's a little girl. He may have just saw her as he did call her Joshua, but he may have kept her in that dress. There's no actual evidence to prove that she was dressed as Joshua.
Yeah, there's no evidence there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a possibility that he either did dress her up as Joshua or kept her like that because she does resemble Joshua.
Even in a dress, she looked like him.
So it didn't really matter, probably to Gregory, because she had the same hairstyle and she did look like him. So he wouldn't have outright killed her. Obviously, he killed every other child there except Jennifer. He could not do it.
And actually, that's the only thing that's correct about the final part of the fight is where he would kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
If he got the good ending, obviously.
Yeah.
But because he couldn't fight her, because he even says, "I'm sorry, Joshua." Yes. He's apologizing to Jennifer. I think he's apologizing to Jennifer more than he is Joshua, because
I agree.
He thinks that she is Joshua, even though she's dressed as a girl.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't bring himself to kill her, so he says, "I'm sorry, Joshua."
And then just kills himself because it's too horrible. He can't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
He probably what it is he sees her so hurt.
Exactly, and so scared.
And all he wants is to please his son.
Exactly,
and
so he would want to see his smiling face.
And he's not, and his son is not pleased. His son is frightened of him.
So that would make sense entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But we are missing a big gap in Jennifer's story, too. We went through the beginning and the end, but we just missed the big gap where she was being, the slave of Rule of Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And that basically is where, she found Brown, was under Wendy's rule. We've touched on Jennifer so much that almost we have covered everything, just smattered it in different places.
Exactly. And, I mean, there's other things we can go over, like we did the developers and how, you know, there are some things that do not make sense plot-wise. And maybe in the Japanese version they do, but there's not, it was not translated well.